bring you greetings from the Inside Studios, and you are watching the Virtuous Woman. As you may already know, this is a program where we talk about issues of life concerning women. Yes, and I am your host, Susie Usikenen Georges. Today we are talking about menopause. Menopause is a word that makes many women uneasy when they hear. Yes. Why? Because it is because of the
Bluetooth disconnected.
The stigma that is around, or it is associated with menopause. But for a fact, we all know that menopause can affect everybody, because even if you are not a woman, you are somehow related to a woman. And even that, men, do you know, men also can have menopause, because it is a stage in life, it is a transition in life. And so if women can change productively, reproductively, then it is also for men. I have a mommy here who is going to give us more of that. She's going to tell us more of what I am talking about. As I said, we are talking about menopause. Let me ask, when you hear the word menopause, what comes into your mind? What are some of the things that comes into your mind? If my guess may be right, he will be thinking hot flashes. You will be thinking tiredness. You'll be thinking forgetfulness. You'll be thinking boring to be, or those things come into your mind. I guess that would be what you'll be thinking of. But you know, women are different, and so are their experiences. So a symptom will not be the same for another person. That is why we have taken it upon ourselves to get ourselves informed, so that we will take right decision and know what to do when it comes to menopause. The woman to help me do this is a great woman, a woman of God. She is selfless. She is a wife. She is a mother of two and a mentor to many. She is the First Lady of the Inspirational Charismatic Church, UK. She is a trained nurse, and she has been in this for 13 years. So you can tell how much she is informed when it comes to health issues and generally being a nurse. We have with me here, or help me welcome my mommy, Lady Mrs. Gifty ADU-GYAMFI. Mommy, you are so much welcome to the Virtuous Woman.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs.
Thank
God
you
bless
so
you
much.
for me.
It's of a great honor, Mommy, that when we called upon you once again, because Mommy has been here. She was on the show, on this program last year to talk to us about women and mental health, and the feedback was awesome. The feedback was awesome. That is why she's here again today. Mommy is going to talk to us, as I said, about menopause, a transition in life. Many of times we are talked about puberty, we are talked about, for some we don't know anything, and we may say then we don't know what to do. So Mommy is going to help us, so that we will know what to do when, if you're already in it, you will know, you will unlearn and you will relearn. And if you are yet to, you will make informed decisions. And so Mommy, menopause, please can you take us through? Viewers, thank you so much also for joining. If you are new on the page, please subscribe, like and follow. Share this video also with somebody that it will be of a help to. Yes, at the latter part of the program, we will also give chances so that you can, if you have any question, you can give it to us by commenting on under the video, or we have the chance also to call in. I will give the number afterwards so that you can call if you have any question. So Mommy will help us. Mommy, menopause, please can you take us through?
Thank you so much once again, Susie and your husband, for the great work that you are doing for people like us who are not privileged to know most of the things, the issues of life. And for you to bring it to our doorsteps and all of that is a great work. God bless you. So as Mrs. said, yes, my name is Gifty. And most of the time when you hear Gifty, you see tea. Because I just smile away. I smile away my issues. I smile away the whatever the devil brings at us. And one thing in life that I'm most privileged to be is to be a Christian, a follower of Christ. Because without Christ, I don't know what I would have been, what I would have been doing, where I would have been, and all of that. And so, just as we prayed before the beginning of of this program, I just want to share one verse, and then I will start from there. So when you read Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1, it says that there is a season for everything and a time for every delight and event or purpose under heaven. And that was the Amplified Version. So there is a season, a time appointed for everything and a time for every delight and event or purpose under the heavens. And that is what I want to leave you with. So while we're going through the topic, the great topic, menopause, it's a broad topic. And I want you to also ponder on the fact that there is a season, there is a time for every event under the sun. And that is how God made it. And so when you hear about menopause, you know there must have been a beginning of something before the menopause comes. And just to crack a joke, which I do not take it seriously, is that every issue of a woman starts with men. So with mental health issues, it's MEN, mental. With menopause, it's MEN, menopause. You know, every health issues of a woman starts with men. And that is completely a joke. I don't take that seriously over my husband. I don't tell him that he starts issues in my life. So do not go and repeat this as an accusation or as a form of insulting your husband. I do not do that, and I don't condone anyone doing that. It was purely for laughing purposes. And so menopause is mainly with women. So when you hear menopause, it's mainly with women. And as we go on, you will understand why that is mainly for women. Men also have their menopause, the stage where they reach menopause. And as Susie rightly said, it's around the same time that women tend to have theirs. And theirs is called andropause. Andropause. So men also have their issues when they get to that stage in life where they you know, the hormones are not being produced as it would be as normal. So
Mommy, it's good. It's very good you stressed on that, because the actual fact, many men think it is only women who go through menopause, but it is the beginning of the end. If there was a beginning, as Mommy said, then there will be an end. It frightens us when we hear, and most of men want to associate it only with men. So it is good, Mommy, you said it to us that men also go through menopause, and it is called andropause. Thank you so much, Mommy.
And then I will say a little bit about the men at the end of this program, when I'm coming to the end of the talking session. So menopause is when you get more, the understanding more when you go into the Latin. The Latin, I'm not going to go into the technicality, so don't worry about that. So the Latin word is menopausis. And it's not far from the English word menopause. And means a period, flow of blood for women. And this is, as I said, menopause is mainly for women. As long as you are a woman, you experience it. And that is why it's so great that you know about it and know when it is menopause or when it is something different. And so when a woman gets to the adolescent age, we call something menage. That is also a Latin, it was derived from a Latin word, and that also starts with the men, as I made the joke. And so menage is the beginning of flow. The beginning, the men is flow, and the nage is the beginning, the start, the commencement, ashasie. And once you have a menage, you will need to have a menopause. A meno means the flow, and the pause. When you say pause something, you stop it. You stop something, and that is where you get the word menopause from. And it's normally through research and everything, it's normally between the ages of 45 to 50. Previously, research said it was from 50 to 60, but as life goes on and as the environment is deteriorating and as technology is becoming an investigation of health is becoming more rampant, the age is reducing. And so it means there are things that you can do around your environment to stop certain things happening, but we'll come to that. So initially it was from 50 to 55 to 60, people will start having their menopause. But now, the age has reduced. And so from 45, ideally, from 45 to 50. And that is not a box standard age. So it doesn't mean 45 before you have it, or 50, then you have it. Someone can go beyond their 50 and they will still not have their menopause. I will tell you when it's menopause, when you can say someone has got their menopause. And then some will be before 45 and they will still not have, they will have their menopause because the period will stop completely for at least a year. That is when you diagnose someone with menopause. And just a disclaimer, everything I will say here is for the purposes of a health professional telling people about the condition. I don't treat, that which means I'm not a doctor. I prepare medication to cure. So the doctor will then treat, will diagnose and provide the treatment, and I will as a nurse will give it to you. So that is a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm a nurse, and that is the condition I've learned, I've studied to share with you. So if after this talk, anyone who wants any more clearance or any diagnosis, they will need to go to their doctor and they will be asked a few questions, and then they will be told whether it's menopause they've got or not. Because most of the symptoms of menopause also are symptoms of other conditions. So you need to be sure, don't just conclude by yourself that you are going through menopause. So menopause is a monthly flow, and pause is when the monthly flow stops. And as I said initially, you have your menage where you start your period, and then you have your menopause where your period will stop. In between that time, if you want to give birth, these are the same things that will have to happen for you to give birth. Now, it's not only when you have menopause that your period will stop. There will be people who will be diagnosed with certain conditions to do with their womb. And because of that, they will normally not have a monthly flow. So that is a different thing. But naturally, once you are not, your womb is in place, your ovaries are in place, and you are a normal, you have a normal health, you will go through every month's flow until such time that you won't have the flow for at least 12 months, for a year. Then you will be diagnosed with menopause. You will be told that your menopause has started. But before that, and during the time that the blood flow will completely stop for 12 months, we have a period called menopause, which is during menopause. And that is where most of the symptoms will exhibit itself. And so, and I can't break some chabra. Now, said Lobia, Sana, it didn't really swap with the chat. Said, I bra, and shall say at the same age. Oh, young man. Young girls in the UK are having a 9 years old. Someone like that, or they probably chanting. And you know, whatever they want to do, they will have to do it, marry, you know, procreate, and then so that when it comes to that time, it's not like they've lost out on anything. They do 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, and going on. And I've heard, I haven't actually witnessed it, that someone at the 16. So those are the late period status. And then the transfer, and also you know, the system, they said, the bread this year. Started 45 years, or we saw 50, maybe work as 50, 2020, maybe 52 October when comes.
Wow, mommy, you don't look it at all.
I know, and I haven't started losing. I haven't stopped. It hasn't stopped for me. So, you know, the research that they can say a group between this time and this time, but in your obia and the society, and see, I can't retrauma someone. So, operation B. Because I would be and a bra started and a sign my break. Now I would give know your hormone and only one of the things that make us a big cheat. Your almost near one. You're almost near one. And you're responsible for this bra for this period. But we are estrogen and about progesterone. It is a hormones in oh, shall we about the brain, nothing, Abuama, a brand new egg will be released. And when it doesn't make it with any sperm, then at the end of the month, it will shed off as not met with a sperm. And only a brand. And see, Busumi Bidia as a server. Not normally, Busumi Bia as a server, Banner and Tipo Bia, not a best the pop. Now, as I prepare, I will give a train the next egg, Nasa next year. And see, so operation you I will get because I will get the produce that a hormone is the reproductive system that produces that hormone, the estrogen and the progesterone. It is I will get any international baby. Now you need child being free baby and I need free what. Open no period every month normally. I was still set with the child. They try not make us decent time, even though scientists are cancer 45 to 50 or 50. It was before 50 to 55, but we are kind of getting our shots here. And you know, saying environmental factors and pollution. Any of the activity, and no man's son, it will depend every day. And I, my problem soon less animal, I mean, I said, you soon. And we open no man, no alcohol, when it's no, Ama, and nobody, and I shall stay up bantam, Ama, in Nipa. And see, so who no man obey around the time. Now I don't so determine, say, they are so better, those negative ones are so better. And see, what we are about when you are with the and we exemptions. When you are with the winner, I would get production of a hormones, you know, and I reduce one. Normally, we now period, but soon be now they call. And see, beginning of concept, but soon be do period and never buy ma. Wow, because period and young and now. Into so when we are actively sexually active, there, say Maya wouldn't send you no man, a dear baby, nice baby, ever kind of for. But so when you tell me sexually active, now period are up and down. Now I will say regardless of the age, you have to consult your GP. Now I explain actually say, well, no man be yet come regular. The hormone of a shaft, you some questions. And only questions I ever go to me. If you are not your friend symptoms of menopause. Now the very first one, is a period, no? I say, we go back and get the heavy periods. Yeah, feel pain and price and blood, more just what because and egg army team and spend one ever. I say more, I feel that they come. It's here, no more, we say, sound, no matter, this one I like one day, not period, not bad. But say me chance and kind send you my way so yeah. Symptoms of other things, conditions, cervical cancer, some cancers, and other things. And you know, men's now and diagnose yourself. Men's now can say, oh, Emma, any time, now, 50, it's now what I'm matching. So, going from there, you know, is the cessation of your period. That is the one that we mainly look at to say someone is menopausal or they are in their menopausal stage of life. And it's a stage in life, just as the beginning of period is a stage in life, adolescent around that time. When you are middle age or above middle age, the menopause will also start. And the main symptom is what I stated earlier in G, that your blood flow, your monthly flow become irregular until it ceases for at least 1 year. And I'm talking mostly, Sue will back me up if it's the same over there as well. But here, 1 year before you are diagnosed with menopause. If it's irregular coming on and off, you are still not menopausal. Menopause means when it stops completely for 1 year. And because that hormone, it goes wisdom. God is, his wisdom is, you cannot understand it. His own wisdom, those hormones that the womb produces and the ovaries produces for you, it also comes with other benefits, other blessings. And one of them is children. So when you are having your period, you'll be able to give birth. When you hit menopause, you are not naturally able to give birth. But as I said, you can have fertility treatment and they will sort you all out outside of that. Now, the other thing is also, because of what the hormone was producing and now the hormone is also aging, and so the production of that hormone is not much. There will be certain things that will be drawing away from you. And some of those things are what we call the symptoms of menopause. And I mentioned one as the cessation of your period, which some of us are really looking forward to it because we think we paid our dues and it's time for us to now rest. Now the second one, because that hormone was responsible for sexual activity, you will then find out that your sexual libido will be reduced as well because the hormone is not there much. And when I say sexual libido, I say and also somatic, because that hormone was responsible for all of those feelings and things like that. But now it's reduced. It will be those feelings will also begin to reduce. And with it also will come depression. With it will come some symptoms of night sweat. All of a sudden, during the night, now you'll be sweaty. You know, it's like your bed. And I have friends who have started experiencing that, and they are kind of telling us that are yet to come, that are yet to experience it, that we should be mindful of that, because it's like if we the bed, if we on your bed, you sleep with your husband. And so if around that time you are not open and telling your husband what's happening, they might think this is what you are now, you are now doing. So it's also important that around that time you are able to open up, especially to the people close to you, so that when the symptoms are showing, they won't see it as something else. And also another symptom, not clear, not clear. Another symptom is, if you type, I should be able to see it in the chat, Another symptom is talking too much. Having, sometimes it's because the person is their nature anyway, but then other people too, they were quiet, they were introverts, but during that time, due to the hormone reduction, they might begin to have that kind of difficulty keeping their views to themselves, and that time, and sometimes they feel like the person can't hear or something like that. There is also hot flashes. Those are some of the symptoms, common symptoms. All of a sudden you are there. It's like it's cold in the UK, and those who know the UK, the weather, you don't talk about it. It's cold here, but all of a sudden you will begin to remove your clothing because you are feeling very hot with sweats coming through, and if your skin color is like mine, you won't see, but those with light skin, they will begin to have redness on their cheeks. They call it hot flashes, and they will be sweating, sweat will be coming. And some of them is also vaginal dryness, dryness in the female organ area. And because that hormone was responsible for the lubrication and not the natural lubrication, and your libido is low. When your husband is coming close to you, you might say no, and all of that. But those are some of the issues that tend for having a conversation with your close family and people around you will do a whole lot of good. There are also some physiological symptoms, which what do you know? Symptoms. Headaches. You'll be having more headaches. You can have more than and as I said before, all these symptoms, some people have not even experienced them, but they have stopped their period for over 1 year and they are living and they are okay. So just to look out for them, but they are not conclusively something to happen to everyone. And then you also have low mood, depression, because the hormone there was to help you be active and all of that. You begin to have depression. Depression, I don't know how to say it in tree, but as a mood yellow, so low mood, you are always not happy. Things are not confessed, when need jail, and kick you. And also, when I feel no pay, I weak. It is a okay, you share some, as a okay, now share now, one because yes, I penny bit in here. And all these symptoms, a shall say about now call deep because now catch and will pay and your ma fail well now it's in your year. Now it's in your strong. See, bedroom had met holding on. Now, Susie said, oh, yeah, because you were showing me something earlier.
Yeah, I no problem. I only wanted to tell you that because of our time, maybe you can continue with the English, and then when maybe a call comes in and it is English, it is vernacular, then you can do that because our time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me. It's very helpful that way. Okay, and then Anna, so you might have regular UTIs, urinary tract infections. You have infection because of the dryness of the vagina and things like that. Sexual intercourse might cause certain infections for you. But all these, as I've said, they are symptoms. You might not even experience them, depending on how strong you are willing to go through this thing that is becoming like a big elephant in the room that people don't want to talk about it. Depending on how you deal with it, you can you might not experience, and I'm positive when I say that you might not experience any of these symptoms, but you will still be at your menopause stage in life. So symptoms, yeah, symptoms, and then how are these symptoms? Some can say we call symptoms way. Now, your cessation of your menopause, your menstrual period comes together. Then you go to your doctor and they tell you, oh, okay, now you've seen this, you are in your menopause stage, and so they will begin to help you with certain things, advice and certain medication and things like that to help you if you have serious side effects or serious symptoms. Now, now I mentioned about some mental health issues, depression, low mood, and some can experience schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is when you seeing things, you hearing things, but not in God's way. Like we believe that God speaks to us, and some people can dream and have things, and they can have visions and things like that. But this one is different. You are seeing and hearing things and becoming paranoid. As it will be, everyone is out to get you. So they can try to replace the hormone HIV. They can say hormone when they finish with their work, then you will have the menopause. So the doctors will try to replace the hormones for you, and because they come through an implant, they will put some the medication inside underneath your skin, the epidermis, so that it will release the hormone to you as if it's your own body releasing the hormone. Or you can have in a tablet form. You have it every day, such as if your symptoms are serious and it's affecting your day-to-day life, then they will go that route, because that route also has its side effects. It can cause cancer. When you hear of cancer, don't say, oh, okay, so when I go and they advise me to have the therapy, the hormone replacement therapy, then I won't have it. Everyone is different. And once your GP gives you that treatment, they will also be monitoring you to see if there are no side effects that will cause any cancer. And other things also, they will, for those with dryness, vaginal dryness, and all of that, they would ask you to use lubrications during intercourse with your husband, so that you can still go on with your sexual life with your husband, because you need each other. I wouldn't say they need you, you need each other. And so that should be able to carry on. So they will advise you to buy KY jelly, or those lubricants that you use, so that you can have a normal sexual life with your partner. They will also advise exercise. And exercise is one thing. You don't pay for anything. I'm not saying gym. I said exercise. Exercise is going for a walk, going for a jog. It's free of charge, but it does so much. Even with people with severe mental illness, people that have been diagnosed with mental illness, such as depression, bipolar, all of that, they advise them, have exercise. Just go into the fresh air. Have a walk. Just walk around. And some people, if you're a Christian like myself, you tend to mix it with a prayer walk. through your mouth, whichever way. You kill so many stones with one bird, and that helps a whole lot because the brain will get oxygen, fresh air that is not boosted by heating or by air conditioning. It's a fresh, natural air, and that helps a whole lot. If you are also the one that will want to go to the gym because you have specific things that you need someone to guide you to do, remember your bone density begins to decrease during menopause as well. So if you do active things, it might be negative to your muscles. So you can go to the gym and get onto a routine for someone to help you to exercise at the gym as well. Also, there are talking therapies. If it's that severe, then your GP will refer you to a psychiatrist. And when we hear psychiatrists having an African background, they will say, oh, no. They are there to help you. It's not anything, but because of the stigma that we normally have with such things, we don't want to hear them. But if you are working in the country you are and you are paying your taxes and all that, it's all of those things that they used to pay those people. So if you really need them, then you have to agree, allow for them to just go and hear what they have to say. If you want to follow it through, you are free to follow it through. If you don't, we are in a first world country, Italy, Europe, UK. You have your will. They will give you your will and your desire. So if you go and you don't want to be there anymore, it's fine. But try them because all those services are there for you. So you have talking therapies. They call it cognitive replacement therapies. They will have a chat with you, talk to you, because sometimes when you talk at home, they will say you talk too much. And so you might not even want to talk anymore. So if you go to a neutral person who kind of understands what comes with all these stages in life, and you are there, you can talk to them about anything, and they have to put that in confidence. They have to keep it confidential. Then go and you use them, and because COVID came, some of them are even doing it online. So you can be at home and not, have to close from work or have to take a day off or anything like that, so that you lose. And with the hot flashes and the night sweats, they want you, if you are having more of that, you have to then begin to wear thin clothing, clothes that are thin. And clothes that are separate so that you can remove some easily and not have to remove everything else. Then it will be bundled and taken in a section. But if you have a top, like you have your vest underneath and the top, you can take the top off if you are in an environment where you can do that, and so that it helps you. And the night sweat, the hot flashes is why I mentioned earlier. You have separate, so you can take layers of clothes off. The night sweats, you can sleep without the quilts. When it's cold, we use the heavy quilts, and they some have 300 toes and all the heavy one. You can go for a lighter one that we normally use in summertime, so that you'll be able to move it also during the night if you feel it's like that. And one main thing, have a communication with 3 people. Communication with 3 people. Be able to do that because they will be able to help you. If you are married, because we're talking about the women, your partner, whether they understand it or not, let them know this is what is happening. Number 2, family, especially those who might be single parents, so you have your mother, your brothers, your sisters helping you out, or your mentor, as if you are in a church, you have your church mother who is not talking, sending your issues all around, and you want to also confine in them, you can confine in them. And so that's number 2. And then number 3 is professionals. The first contact is your doctor, and he will be able to then direct you and refer you to the various people that he feels will be able to help you. And so in an overview, these are the things that, and also the number 2, family and friends, and your mommy or your godmothers and all of that, you tell them, I need to talk, and let them have time for you. Just talk, rant on, or ease yourself with whatever is you are pent up with. And then when you finish and they go through with you, there are some issues it's shareable. Once you share them, it's not surprising you anymore. But because you don't want to share them because of the stigma or casado or go through menopause and all of that kind of thing, people don't want to talk. But find people that you can confine in, find people that will have ears and speak. Just talk. And whatever it is that you're going through, as relieve yourself of it, and they might be able to help you. They don't have to go through to help you. If they have the knowledge about it, they can just point you to this direction or that direction. And also, things that you like doing. We have hobbies. We have interests. People travel and they eat off pent up stress and pent up anger and pent up depression and all of that. Travel. It doesn't have to be traveling from here to Dubai, which is my one of my things. I just want to visit the place and see what all the hoo-ha is about. And I'm saving one pound at a time. But until then, if you are in Italy, you have so many different areas. I've heard in Rome, go and walk around. I've heard, tell me some of the cities. The places that have a Dongo.
Florence.
So, travel within your own country. There are so many people travel from far around the world to come and enjoy those places. But you are living in the same country. You haven't even been away. Overnight, do something. If that is your interest, do something, because all those things helps to relieve pressure and tension. And don't work. It's all work. Before you realize you have not enjoyed life. I was saying to someone, every single day that God gives to us is -1 of the days you are spending on earth. So don't postpone life. Don't postpone life to when I'm in pension. That time you are old. You will be having an ache here, a niggling here, a health issue here and there. I'm not prophesying it over anyone, but with age comes diseases and illnesses. Because the whole body has gone through a whole life of whatever it is that it's gone through. So make life easy for yourself. Don't bear grudges easy. This one did not look at me, so I'm fighting with them. Because with grudges comes a hormone that is responsible for anger. And that hormone is also responsible for all these illnesses like cancer, that they can't have a cure for it. You just have to be treated if it's caught early. And you don't need all these things. You have to make life so easy for you. When at home the children have done all of their mess and everything and you want to do it, do it. If at that time you are not ready to do it, give yourself time. And I'm not condoning leaving your home so messy and all of that. No. But, have the rest. Don't be too stressed, because things, even period can stop with stress and you are not at the menopause stage yet. So with stress comes diseases. And as I said, some of these symptoms also denote certain other illnesses. So don't say to yourself, oh, I've stopped my period. My period has stopped and I'm 45. So the woman said between 45 and 50. So you stay at home and you accept that is what is happening. No, because cancer of the womb, cancer of the cervix, they all stop the periods. And so make sure that you are frequent with your issues, things that are happening in your body. It's only you that will know. So if you don't tell anyone, no one knows. And if you're not comfortable telling people around you, can go to your doctor and they have the time to listen and to go with you with whatever it is. So I think that needs to be mentioned. So I will leave the floor.
Yeah. Let's leave mommy to take a breather so that she can give us more after we are back. Let me go to Facebook, mommy. I'll go to Facebook and see some of the questions and comments that are here. We have our mommy Tando says, blessings to you also, mommy. We have our lady Josumina joining. Mr. Skinny says, Latin menopause, yes, big words. So today, if you don't learn anything at all, you will learn big words from mommy. We have Mrs. Kenny also says again from the inside studios. He says, brava, mommy. That's very good of you, mommy. Yes, children 9 years and even below 8 are still having their menses, and so we need to prepare. Wow, mommy has made us to understand. It depends on when you begin your menses. So if you begin it earlier, it means you are going to end it earlier. It's rather unfortunate that it sounds like the beginning of the end is begun and then it is going to end. I have a question to ask mommy about that, and I'll do that after I finish reading these comments. It said, looking good, mommy, looking cute. Yes, as always, mommy is looking so cute. I have our mommy Grace Mamli Dazi watching. Mommy, thanks for being with us. We have our lady Dorcas, thank you. We have Mrs. Kenny writes, sexual libido reduced. Yeah, it's a big issue. Then we have said low mood and depression. We have our lady Vida Abuaji watching. Thank you so much. We have our mommy. Mrs. Tando says, please, are the men in the house to understand where women are coming from? I hope they do understand that women go through a lot. So if you see your woman change in front of your eyes, something is going on, you know where she's coming from. We have our Mrs. Kenny says again, yeah, you are right, mommy. We need each other. Yes, we need each other. Matano says, talk out to be free with the right people. Yes, as mommy said rightly, we should talk to the right people so that you also ease whatever is bothering you. It is said that this menopause thing has a lot to do with our brain, and so if you have a lot going on in there, that is what will result in mental health issues. So choose the right people you can talk to. Seek for help if you need one, as mommy said. We have Lady Judith says, well said, mommy, enjoy life whilst you can. Wow, thank you so much, Lady Judith. We have a mommy Mamle that says, bless you, Mrs. Bless you too, mommy. Bless you. Thanks for being with us. Mommy, let me ask. Anyway, if you also have a question, we will pin in the number. You can also call to ask if you have a question, or you can also write it below the comment section. Mommy, for somebody who has irregular periods, maybe normally the person is having that issue with it's not consistent, or maybe because of contraception, you don't have it regularly. Maybe you were having it regularly because now you have contraception on. Maybe you don't even see it at all. How then do you determine whether you are in that phase, that transition of life?
Okay. So in that situation, it's two things. Number one, you will have to know the age range we mentioned.
Yeah.
But then again, some time ago, I read about an English lady who had started their training to be a nurse. It's in one of our nursing times, a magazine for nurses that we read. And she had a boyfriend and she was on the pill, so she was not, having a regular, as you mentioned, when you're on the pill, your period will be regular. And so she put it down to being on the pill, as you just rightly said. And then for some time, she wasn't having 6 months, no period at all, no phase, nothing, not a spot. Or even, a little, it comes today, tomorrow it's gone. So she went to the GP and the GP said, okay, stop the pills and let's observe and see, monitor. And she stopped the pill. Another 6 months, nothing. So she went and the GP said, oh, maybe, you know, the pill tend to put that machine in different regularity. So let's look at it. So 18 months, she had not had a period after 1 year of stopping the pill. And then she went back. They did tests and they realized that the estrogen and the progesterone is not in her blood system anymore, even during the period that she should have a menstrual flow. So they will do blood test, scan, and the third one is the physical symptoms that you will tell them is what they will do to determine whether you have reached your menopause stage or not. So it's not just the symptoms, because as I said, the symptoms can determine different things, different other illness or different things altogether. But blood test is number one to determine whether it's really finished, and that will be done by looking out for the hormone that makes the monthly flow. So if the hormone is not there, then that is what, with the absence of period for 18 months and everything. So this young lady was 26. She was yet to marry and have children. She said when they diagnosed her with the menopause, she thought the man would leave her. But the man said no, he hadn't given birth before, the man hadn't given birth before, but they are still together up until now. Because, you know, with them it's easy for them to have adoption or whatever it is that they will need to, and even here with that young lady, they can do IVF, because then they will give you the injections and they will put the egg with the sperm and put it in, you know, plant it in you and all of that. So she was quite hopeful and not depressed by all of the events that has happened to her at a young age of 26. So you can have the pills can make it irregular, your periods irregular, and it might seem like maybe menopause and all of that, but there are other investigative things that can be done to determine whether it's definitely, and that's why I keep telling our community, you know, those with that background, when someone starts talking, oh, menopause, they give name, they give stigma, they make the person feel like they cannot even talk. And when their age is close to that time that they say you can have menopause, then they will also agree, okay, I have menopause, and sit back. Meanwhile, it's something else going on. So it's not, that is why I said you have to see your doctor to be diagnosed and say that, okay, this is the period, this is what's happened.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. So meaning if I'm, let's say, 40, 43, 44, am I the one to decide I want to go to the doctor to determine whether I'm in that phase of life, or that is when I'm not even experiencing any symptom, or it is not, you will by all means have a symptom, that is why it will take you to the doctor. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. Should it be that you have symptoms, or if you don't have any symptoms, do you yourself go to, because I was reading and I found out there was somebody who said, okay, I went to the doctor because I was feeling depressed and I was given antidepressants, but that was not the issue. It was because of aging. So how do you go to the doctor to go for?
Yes, you know, with every human being, your attendance to a doctor is because of something most of the time. So it could be one of these symptoms or a collection of these symptoms that will take you there. Because as I said, most of us tend to think when they start talking too much, when they start becoming depressed and all, they will resign to the fact that I'm between this age bracket, and so maybe I'm menopausal. But it shouldn't be like that. You have to go to the GP to be diagnosed. So if you are a normal 40, 43-year-old person, you having your flow okay, or even if it's irregular, and there are no other combination or one of those other symptoms, then that you won't feel that there's no need to go to the doctor. But it's for you to know, to spot an issue where you want to be able to get clarification for it. That is when you go to your GP. So it will have to come from you.
Okay.
Noticing certain things that has changed, that is not normal with you normally, that will take you to the GP. And once you are there, then you both reason together and decide, okay, let's observe for the next this, let's do this test, let's do this blood test, let's do this, let's do this. That will then keep the ball rolling, to be able to be on the way to being diagnosed. And as I said, it's a stage of life. It's not an illness. Even though it can cause certain illnesses, certain things in you, it's not an illness. Just as when you have your period, the young people, because maybe they haven't been spoken about, they haven't talked about it, they see it and, oh, I have blood, and some of them will panic and all of that. Once we teach our children, and I did that with my young girl, and she, she's like an expert with her personal hygiene during the time of period and all of that, because I sat her down, and I'm good with that. Even my son, I sit him down, because if we don't tell them the right way, they will be taught somewhere the wrong way, and that will cause us. So it's good for people to know that when I'm talking too much, it's because maybe what you are doing is not good, and I'm talking. When I'm low mood, it could be a symptom of something else. Maybe I'm overwhelmed with work. Maybe I'm overwhelmed with certain projects that I want to finish by hook or crook and putting my health in danger. All these things will have to be explored before you come to that conclusion that, oh, this is what is causing it. And that will have to be the initiation to your practitioner, your doctor, however they are called, wherever.
If my mom is watching, I just want to say sorry. You don't talk too much. Or if you have to mention we are four. So if you have to mention one of us name, she will mention all of us before she will get to the person she wants to call. Then we'll be laughing at her. That is menopause. Sorry, grandmothers. Sorry, mommies. We know it is a stage of life, and we will also get there.
It will catch up with you. Yes. It will catch
Mommy,
up.
is it normal? I don't know, but I hear a lot of some women complain when maybe is it okay to mourn when you lose your fertility? Like some people are really grieved into, or maybe through surgery because of issues, their ovaries have been removed. Does it cause menopause at once? And then is it okay that you mourn when you go through this kind of situation?
Yes. And when I started, I said menopause is different from when you have had some surgery or have had some illness that has deprived you of the womb, because the hormones are made in the womb. So when the womb is not there, then you won't have it. So it will go straight once you have your womb removed or your ovaries removed. Now, with everything that stops or that ceases, there is a mourning. Yes, and that is via research. Those bereavement is with anything that you had before and it's no more. So even with divorce that people have initiated themselves because they feel they are in a toxic relationship, they can't live in it anymore. When they leave, they can cry and cry. And some people will be saying, you said you want to leave. What are you now crying? They need to have bereavement. They need to mourn. Because the thing was there, it was part of their life. This period thing, if you had it at age 10, and you are, for even instance, if you are 40, it means 30 years. Every month you know how to get stock of your sanitary pad, you get stock of your underwear that you use for it, you do yourself as it goes, you give extra cleaning to the bathroom if you have your men around, so that the scent you smell is not all over in the house. You've done all these things, even though it's work, but you've done all these things, it become part of you for all these years. And when it stops, even that mourning and bereaving the period alone can cause you low mood. It can cause you grumpiness. You can be grumpy for nothing. You can be So yes, you can have bereavement for it. And yes, those who have had their ovaries removed, their womb removed, they will not be having any period. And so it's either through the procedure or before the procedure or after the procedure, you sit down with your consultants and they will decide whether to give you hormone replacement if you are that young, because then maybe the symptoms might be too much for you, and they will give you the replacement therapy. But otherwise, healthy eating, exercising, and all of that, you will be able to move on and know that the reason for you removing the womb is much higher and better than if you had kept it there and gone too soon, or maybe gone a different route.
Okay, we have a question on Facebook. It says, concerning issues of menopause, can one consult a family doctor or must go to a gynecologist?
Okay, for us in the UK, everything is through your GP. So you go to your GP, you have the discussion, and then he will do the referral. But people in Ghana, for example, health system is not through your GP, it's not free, it's not at the point of need or anything like that. You pay for it. So if you have a gynecologist, maybe through giving birth to your children, then you can go to them straight, and they will then sit with you and decide if they need to be doing the therapy and all of that. They will have to refer you to an endocrinologist, people who doctors who deal with hormones, and they will be able to then, so with the doctor, the health professionals, everyone is specialist in their own different areas. The gynecologist is good when you are at your fertile stage, you are wanting to give birth and things like that. Once you give birth, your gynecologist can't help you. It will be your pediatrician that will help you with the child. So it depends on the health system in your country. If everything is through your GP like we have in the UK, then it's your GP you have to go to. But if you are paying and you have all of them at your disposal, then you go to the one you feel is much connected to the situation or the issue at hand.
Wow, thank you so much, Mommy. Because this menopause thing has to do with something natural, Mommy has talked about the fact that we can exercise, we can take fresh air and all that. Coming to our diet, is there a particular food we can eat that will help us boost the levels of our estrogen and progesterone?
Okay, that is very good. So the question is, are there diets a diet that you can use to complement those natural hormones that was out there? Yes, and a big yes. Because that is, it's even, with every normal human being, you have to be eating healthy. But sometimes, our egg for some cravings overtake the health of whatever food that we want to eat. So the healthiness of whatever food we want to eat. So they will tell you, eat healthy, with the libido and the estrogen and all of that. There are certain foods that is even advised when it comes to February 14, when people want to be, doing certain things. They show you things to eat that will increase your libido. And such foods are strawberries, watermelon. Some people didn't know, they just eat it because they like it, but watermelon boosts your sexual appetite. So you can, you want to get giddy with your husband and all of that. There's also ice cream. Ice cream is a good, and chocolate. They're all aphrodisiacs. When we say aphrodisiacs, things that helps, make you feel like you want to be with your husband or you want to get intimate. And so some of these foods are good, but with every food, once you overeat it, you miss the healthy side of it. So all in moderation, because these foods, chocolate, they are not that healthy, but they have certain things in them that also helps the brain to work actively. So that is one side. And then when you come to the thing that will support the hormones that you are losing, we have seafoods, some seafoods such as oysters. which it might be expensive for some people, but it's a good food, something to have. And those who live around, there was a research that those who live around the sea and those fishermen who go, when they get the oysters, they don't sell those ones, but they eat with their family. Those people have the benefits of those things that the oysters can give. Also, shell foods. You have the prawn, you have your king prawn, you have things that have the shell that they take out before you reach the food. So crab, it has its low dosage of it, but it has some in it as well. And then your lobster. Lobster is a big one, and I heard, because my family have been in Italy several times, but I haven't. And I'm looking to be able to, after my Dubai series, I'll be looking to visit Italy, and I heard you have restaurants that give you like big lobsters, and so you can, one afternoon you can go out and eat with the family, you know, all budgeting to do that. And I'm very huge on budgeting, because without that, the money we are getting and the living, the cost of living, you know, it won't match up. So be wise with everything that you want to do. Not that it's been mentioned in a talk like this, and so you want to go and force the family to do it. So lobsters and things like that, they also help with the hormones that you lose. So you need to be clever with your diet. And if you are alcohol and a smoker, they will advise you around that time, cut it down. But thankfully for some of us, because of we live that kind of healthy life already, so we won't have an issue with that. But if you are a smoker, an alcohol consumption person, you have to cut it right down, because those things exacerbate the symptoms that you have.
Wow, thank you so much. Wow, we have learned so much. I believe we will take informed decisions when it comes to our health, especially this transition to menopause. Wow. Let me go to Facebook for the last time. Judith said, this is cocoa for us. Oh, I don't understand that. I said, Mrs. Kenny says, my wife, please write them down. You mean the foods or? Wow. God help us. We have Uhura Bright says, God bless you. Thanks. Yeah, thank you to Mommy for the information, the great insight she's giving us. Shell foods, lobster, yes, that is what is going to help us. We have Dr. says, Mama, God bless you. God bless you, Mommy, for this great session. Also, soon our time is up, but I would like to ask, before she gives us her last word, I want to ask her one last favor. To a partner out there, what would you say to him watching, who is seeing the person he has loved going through that phase of life? What would you tell that person in order for them to understand what their partners are going through? What would you say to them?
I always say, and I said I would say a little bit about the men when they get to that stage too. Also, the men is from 50 to, you know, whenever. And as I said in the beginning, these age brackets are not boxed in. They are not complete. Someone can have it outside either before or after. But the thing is, when men are going through, they want to prove something. So maybe you are there with your partner, all of a sudden they won't be driving some car that, you know, the family's finances are not even up to the tire of that car. You know, they want to prove, when they get to their andropause state, they want to prove things. They want to tell the world that they are not aging. They are young. So that is when they will leave their wife and go and get some small school going at somebody. And then they will be now be sponsoring them through school. Meanwhile, they need to be keeping money for when they go on pension to enjoy themselves and go, you know, globe trotting and enjoying themselves. So they will be wearing things that they didn't have interest in them before, but now they are wearing skin tight jeans. They want to relive their youth. That is some of the symptoms for some of the men. And when you speak to them, they will not listen. They're going through that. They call it midlife crisis in brackets. So their menopause is midlife crisis for them. Now, with anyone going through any of these things, if you don't share, if you are not able to talk, or if you are surprised to talk, then nobody will know. If I don't come and tell you, if I didn't say on the platform that I'm still having it, but I'm looking forward to when it will stop, because I feel I've paid my dues. So I should have some rest. I should save my sanitary money for pension and all of that. If I don't say it, you wouldn't know. You might think because I'm 50 plus, I might have gone through it, but I haven't. And so for the first step for you today is to be comfortable to speak. And I stress on the fact that speak to someone you feel you can confide in, because one thing you don't want, for me, I said it on the platform, and it's going to be on Facebook and everywhere, so everyone will know my age, and I'm not ashamed, because I feel I look cute for my age, so yes, I like to say them. But some people don't want their issues going out. And as a matter of fact, when I come to you, Sue, and I speak to you, unless I give you permission, you are not to discuss it. Even with your husband, you are not. And that should be the standard for every one of us that are in certain professions, as the health profession, and even as my side thing as a mentor. Mentoring young ladies and mentoring. You shouldn't discuss people's issue with other people. And that there might be some of the difficulties people are having to share things with other people. And so they tend to keep quiet and suffer in silence. But if you're a man and your wife is going through this and they have come out, they are open to speak to you, don't stigmatize them. Don't say, I am a menopause. And you are free, you are okay to speak to everyone around you, your friends' husbands, your friends' wives. Oh, my wife is going through menopause. It is a business. Unless she tells it, you don't have, even as a husband, it's not you going through. You are there, as you said, your vows, in good health and in bad health. And if this is causing her bad health, these are some of the moments you have to stand by her and not make her feel so low and so bad and so old, more than you are, because her symptoms are showing. You think you are older, or she's older, but you might not be having the symptoms of andropause, and that's why you are not, doing certain things that will see you are going or crazy. And so you have to have a conversation. You have to be able to communicate to your closest person, either that person is a husband or a friend, as I said earlier before, for those who don't have husbands or wives. Whatever you're going through, make sure you have someone you can confide in and say, this is what I'm going through these days, and I feel this might be it. So I'm going to go to my doctor, but I feel I need people around me to be positive, to egg me on, to tell me to see the right people at the right time and all of that. So my advice to that person whose partner is going through any difficult time is have an ear to listen. Just listen. Some of them, once you listen, the issue is half solved. Some of them, you don't have to do anything extra. You just have to tell them your mind, oh, I think this is what I will be able to do to support you. So now, if she's doing everything in the house, that will make the whole issue blow up. So try and pick some of the things to help around in the house for her. And that might even bring her symptoms so low that it won't even affect her health or anything like that. So communication is number one. Communicate with your partner, with your spouse, with your wife, and not with any other person about your wife or your husband.
Wow, thank you so much, mommy. Communication. Understand that the person going through that is part of you. As mommy said, the vows for better and for worse. So in her worst times, you need to understand, accept, and support. It's, as mommy said again, it is not a sickness, but it is a transition, a phase of life. And so natural, and you cannot do anything about it. It is said that human beings are the greatest resource God gave to us. So ask for help if you need help. Choose the right people you can talk to. Surround yourself with the people you are at ease with to share your problems so that it will not all be compounded in you. Menopause is a transition of life. As we go through puberty, we go through pregnancy, all those, sometimes we are not prepared for it. But thank God for such sessions like this, we can be able to learn to make informed decisions. This is the common goal, that we will be able to accept what we are going through as women and then find help. We seek help. The common goal is that we will know what is before us, what we are getting close to, or if we are already in it, what we are doing that is not helping our situation. Then we unlearn and we relearn. Wow, I believe this session has been a good one for you. If you have not shared this video, somebody should watch and learn. So you can still share the video, and then if you have any question, you can just write it down and you can ask mommy where we can be of a help to. Mommy, thank you so much for coming. I don't know if you have any last words to give us before we go.
Okay, one more thing I think I forgot. I mentioned about the exercise, free exercise. Also vitamin D. Vitamin D, which we normally get from the sun, it's also free. But because I have heard, again, just as I heard about the lobsters, I've heard that you get more sun over in Italy as well. So for those of us who don't get much sun, you need to be having a supplement of vitamin D, because that is also, because that will lift your mood. That is also good for the depression that you might experience if you have that as your symptom. So vitamins are also good to help out. And then they have other non-traditional remedies as well. Some example, acupuncture, that Chinese kind of treatment where you go and they put needles in certain spots for you. That is mostly to treat the mental health aspect of menopause, where someone will have a deep-seated depression or even schizophrenia through the withdrawal of the hormones, and they can also have certain things like that. Some will also have herbal medication. You need to be able to know that those herbs are helpful for this particular condition, and not just go, back in my country, one herb can cure so many
diseases.
You're not even sure which one. So you have to be careful if you go for those non-traditional or unorthodox medications. You need to be careful that you are doing the right thing. But most of the things that you need to support you during this period is natural. Walk, have a walk. You can even make that a date walk. Walk with your husband, walk with the children, just go out in the space and walk. And if the sun is coming, then it's a bonus.
Wow. Thank you so much. What more can we say to mommy? We are so much grateful for such insights you have shared with us. If you're a woman out there, I believe it has been so much insightful for you too. We believe that this and such sessions will help us as we grow. Thank you so much also for making time with us, our wonderful viewers. We are not forgetting, we are not taking you for granted at all. We say that we are so much grateful that you find time to stick with us, to share, to better our lives. And so, thank you again. And as I said, this is the Virtuous Woman coming your way right from the Inside Studios. And in all that you do, be the best you can be and take one day at a time. God richly bless you. Bye for now.